What'd you think of your buddy Floyd Mayweather's fight on Sunday night?
I didn't see it, but I heard it went to a distance. It went the distance, and I would love to see Floyd retire.
No more exhibitions, no more
No,
fights.
no more.
Why not? If he said he made like 50 to 100 million bucks, that's what he told me at least.
If 50 or 100?
He said between 50 and 100. He said.
So is that's a wide range.
That is a wide range. That's what I thought too. But
yeah, he should retire. Floyd should retire, and he's had an incredible career, and to do these type of fights is it's silly.
After the fight, Logan said that his heart or his real background was in the cage because of wrestling. He loves wrestling, loves grappling. Would you ever entertain Logan if he wanted to come over and he proved to you that he was taking it seriously? Any thought of entertaining a Logan Paul UFC fight?
Well, there's no doubt when you look at both those kids that they take it seriously. Yeah. They both really do train hard, and
seems like it.
They're not just showing up for a paycheck.
No.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just here's the thing. He's not to say that I haven't taken a guy in that's been 0-0 into the UFC and done those type of fights before. I don't know.
Right. Because, people will say, hey, CM Punk fought, that's what the yeah.
And listen, I got no hate for these kids at all. These kids have figured out a way to parlay their success on YouTube and their popularity into going in and making big money fights. Good for them. Yeah. I say this all the time. There's always going to be a market for these type of fights. Imagine if Kim Kardashian wanted to fight Amanda Nunes. How big do you think that fight would be? I mean,
50 to 100 million.
Exactly. And that's the thing. I see a lot of these fighters crying, oh, this guy's making this much money and this guy's making that much money. What do you think Kim Kardashian would make if she came in and fought Amanda Nunes?
Right.
Probably more than anybody's ever made ever.
No question.
Francis
was on social media saying it was
ridiculous. Kids started a fucking YouTube channel when they were 12 years old. They built this up over years. This isn't just they did this overnight. They built this up over years and years, and they got in the gym and they trained and they did their thing and they parlayed this into whatever it is now. I don't really know how much they're making. I don't know what the real number is. Right. They keep throwing out 50 to 100 million. Floyd saying that, when Floyd fought, when we did the fight, Floyd could tell you to the dime what he made.
He said like 350 million.
Floyd wasn't saying 50 to 100 million. Floyd told you right to the fucking nickel how much.
I think he told me like 350 for like 28 minutes. He knew down to the minute.
So when you hear these kind of numbers that are thrown around, you know what that usually tells you? Bullshit. Okay? Bullshit. And there's always going to be a market for these fights. Good for those kids. And the answer is, I don't know.
Which Nate Diaz do you think shows up? It's been a while since we've seen him in the octagon, Dana. Do we get the Nate Diaz that beat up Conor McGregor, or do we get the Nate Diaz that was losing to Jorge Masvidal when that fight was stopped? Which Nate Diaz are you expecting this weekend, Dana?
I think we get the same Nate Diaz every time he shows up. He comes in and fights his ass off. Stylistically, this is a good fight because Leon Edwards is going to stand and trade with him. There shouldn't be too much wrestling going on unless Diaz is going for a submission or something. This should be a fun fight.
I know you've talked about, Colby and Kamaru happening next. Is there a chance, because of Nate's popularity, if he really wows you, does he possibly skip the line and get a title shot, depending on this performance Saturday night?
I don't know. It's a possibility. There's so many things that factor into, the title, but the reality is right now, Colby Covington's the next in line. Colby Covington's the number 1 contender in the world. The first fight with him and Usman was insane. One of the best fights I've ever seen. Yeah. So, it'd be tough. Nate falls out of the rankings because he takes so long to fight. He should be ranked right now. I don't know where, but he should be ranked in the division. And obviously a win over Leon Edwards puts him in the top 5 and, puts him in title contention.
You're clearly not opposed to making these trilogy fights. We're going to see Conor and Dustin, and people are so excited for that one. How about the third Nate Diaz Conor McGregor fight that all the fans have wanted for 5 years now plus?
Yeah, I don't know. We got to see what happens with Conor in his next fight, and win, lose, or draw, what he wants to do next.
How important is this fight for Israel to get back on the winning track? He was on the way, in my opinion, to be the biggest star in the sport, maybe one of the biggest stars in the sport. How important is this weekend for Israel to beat Marvin Vettori?
Yeah, to hold on to his middleweight championship, especially after trying to move up a weight class, which is very hard to do in this sport. It's a huge fight for him. And then for Vettori, not only will he become the world champion, but he'll be the first ever Italian world champion in the UFC. So both guys with a lot of stake this weekend.